is Karita Parks with Bowie TV. It is day 6 of training camp here at the Under Armour Performance Center. And the Ravens offense got a boost today with the return of Lamar Jackson. Of course, QB1 automatically brings the energy. The kids were so excited to see him. And just having him on the field was a boost for the offense. And this was arguably their best day with Lamar Jackson back. There were several offensive players who got in on touchdowns today. Nelson Aguilar, he had a pair. Rashad Bateman, he had 3 touchdowns. One of those were back-to-back series. We also saw some touchdowns from Isaiah Likely. And although he didn't get a touchdown, Mark Andrews, who we know is one of Lamar's favorite targets, he had a couple of big plays too. I also liked what I saw from Devontae Walker. It just seems as you watch him, as camp goes along, that he's getting more and more comfortable in the offense. So saw a pair of touchdowns from him as well. But that doesn't mean that the defense slacked. It was a little bit more challenging, as Michael Pierce said, to have Lamar Jackson back. But Marlon Humphrey, he did come up with 2 interceptions, and Nate Wiggins also had an interception. So those are some of the biggest storylines from today. Zay Flowers, he was not at practice. It was excused as he was attending a wedding. But other than that, the Ravens are on a break on Sunday. They will be back at it on Monday for training camp. This is Karita Parks with Bowie TV here at the Under Armour Performance Center. Stay tuned for all your Ravens content.
Moving super good. Looks great to me. We had another conversation that was a spirited conversation, Marlon and I, about. He asked me about the first step in press coverage. You know what I thought, and we talked about that. And that's what we should be talking about all the time.
John, we haven't asked you about it, being that's the end of the first week. The 3 of the rookies that we haven't seen out here, Isaac, Tampa, and Rigby. any of those guys you close, or and we don't like what's Rigby's story?
Yeah, Rigby, those guys are soft tissue, lower leg. They use the typical things that happen to rookies sometimes, coming off the combine and all that. Adisi's been struggling with that since before the combine. Rigby since right around getting here, the combine, and then Tampa had the sports hernia surgery. So those are all not unusual, certainly frustrating for those guys. They want to be out here, but you can't bring them out too soon or they do it again, then you got another 5 or 6 weeks. So we're trying to do right by those guys and honestly hold them back just a little bit so when they come back they're ready to go.
How do you manage the approach for wanting like the competition and the intensity that you want in practice with making sure guys don't go overboard, especially now that the pads are on?
That's exactly right. I mean, that to me is that's the craft, that's the art of it all. And you're trying to say, the right to hit somebody, all right, stops where the other player is in jeopardy. So the guys generally know when it's a compromising situation for the player, and you try to pull up in that type of situation.
Good.
Thank you.
Hey, so what stand out for you the most first week of training camp?
I say really competition. I mean, everybody getting back into the football mentality. Everybody attacking their one-on-ones, making sure the offense, defense is iron sharpen iron, making sure everybody's in tune with what they got going on.
As productive as you were to end last season, how has that affected your mentality this offseason coming into camp? Is there, how does that affect your drive?
Really just, wiping the slate clean. I mean, knowing obviously the pros and cons of what I did to end off the year, but understanding that obviously what I did wasn't enough to get the ultimate goal. So coming back with the mentality of, job not finished and attacking everything I did from the little details. So obviously the things I do well, even harder than before, and trying, be that piece, that leader on the offense to get everybody going.
Isaiah, you talk about chemistry all the time. Obviously, you and Lamar had great chemistry the last year. Is there another level you can get to? And if so, how do you go about doing it?
For sure. I mean, I feel like there's still players on the field that me and Lamar, just might have just missed, or, I was off and he expected me somewhere, or I expected it a certain way. So, just harping on those things in practice, hearing it from his perspective, whether he's taking a rep with me or just watching from the sideline, he's always in tune to, watching either when you're on or when you're off, and always, going to the iPad when like, hey, if you look here, I'm going to hit you, or if you do this way, like, expect it right now, stuff like that.
Isaiah, how have you guys developed that chemistry? Like, is there an example of it in how you think Lamar trusts you as much as he sort of has shown?
I say really just, harping on little things in practice. I mean, everybody brings up the Texans game when I told him to throw it up. I mean, that was just, what we do in practice. Like, I'll be in practice and say, man, Lamar, put some more air on it. I promise you I won't make you wrong. So, like, having those, situations in practice where he trusts me, where he does that in practice. So, in game, it's not the first time. So, in game, when I say, man, Lamar, throw it up, like, I got you, I promise you. And he nods his head, lets me know, like, I got you next time, I got it. And, when it's complete, it's always a good thing.
Does it lift everybody when he's out there on the city?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, you guys see, not only from, like, you guys' point of view from seeing him, like, wow, like, quarterback one's back out here, but, the kid's energy, and then you finally get to see him. Lamar brings that obviously that leader role, but obviously that smile, I mean, it's infectious. Not only the offense, but for the team, knowing that your leader's here, knowing that he's going to give every play he got.
So you had a few catches over Kyle Hamilton today. What have those competitions been like, and how exciting is it to get to go against guys who won Pro Bowl last year?
I say it's been exciting. I've been going up against Kyle since rookie year. I mean, you guys been here all the time. Me and Kyle went from rookie year getting like 7 straight one-on-ones every day to now where it's like when we see each other, we know like, okay, this might be the only one I get, so I can't have him talking in the locker room about it or when we get on the sideline. So, whether I win one or whether he wins one, we always want to talk and say like, hey, why'd you do that certain way, or why'd you do that certain way? And like even today, like me and Kyle got a little bit after practice, so we could work on some key stuff with me and him, and like going from there. But I say like Kyle always gets me better. Like win, lose, or draw my rep. Like I feel like I always got better.
Is that part of what gets you through some of the drudgery of training camp? Those little one-on-one moments.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, like if you could spot your one-on-one before the play happens, like you're already like, okay, it's me versus you. But like most of the time, our defense does a great job disguising who has who or what does what. So when you fine-tune your rep and knowing who you got and being able to attack it competitively, that's always a blessing of the day.
Isaiah, there's been a lot of talk about a very versatile role for you on this offense. The coaches have mentioned it multiple times. How excited are you for that role? And then how much extra work have you put in? What kind of extra work have you been putting in to make sure you know all of your assignments?
I say I'm very excited. I mean, I feel like I finally get to show everybody my football knowledge. I mean, understanding, being that chess piece, as I say, from inline to off the ball to in the slot to out wide to in the backfield, showing coach that as long as I know where I am for that specific play and that specific design, catching that matchup, I mean, I could be the nightmare that everybody wants me to be, and showing that, I can study the playbook, I know the playbook in and out to be able to tell not only the receivers where to go, where the running back has to go, and we can play as fast ball as possible.
So being a tight end means both receiving but also blocking, the addition of pen rain, some offensive line losses. Just how much of an importance was that a part of your offseason in building your run blocking ability?
For sure. I mean, I felt like, obviously, like, I want to get better inline blocking, and that's definitely going to keep me on the field a lot more. But really just working on, that first step, that hand placement, and really just, strain. I mean, that's the one thing that I felt like as a blocker, it's more like your willingness. I mean, how much do you want it more for your person not to make the tackle for him rather than him make the play? So I feel like that's more of, your want and your drive at the end of the day in the play. And I feel like that's something I'm going to show a lot more this year.
Isaiah, enormous difference in terms of per snap or per target productivity of the tight ends last year. 12 touchdowns, no interceptions for the tight ends. There have been a lot of interceptions to tight ends in previous years. Can you kind of diagnose some of the difference, whether that's Lamar or it's Monken in terms of the scheme last year, it's you guys? Who's responsible for that difference?
I say it really comes to how bad do you want the ball again. And from a quarterback's perspective, like if they throw an interception and it goes to you, more than likely, if they have the same opportunity again, they're probably not going to throw the ball again. And that's how I think, at least. Obviously there's that next play mentality. Things happen, obviously. But in my mind, it's my ball and nobody's. I try to make it into 100 versus DV nothing. And that's the way I attack the ball, whether it's a good ball, bad ball, anything, everything. If I feel like I can put my hand on the ball, I can catch anything. So just going up to the mentality of the ball, of it's mine or nobody's. And I feel like if I have that mentality, then I can give my quarterback any type of window to throw the ball and always make him throw.
Just first, having them right back out there to go against, what's that been like?
From a defensive perspective, it's been a lot more challenging. Josh and them have done a great job, but anytime you can bring your two-time MVP back in, things especially get a little more hectic. So it's been great. It gives everybody good energy. Glad to see he's healthy, doing well, and it makes our job as a defense a lot more harder, but we enjoy it.
You're notoriously close with Brent Urban. How happy were you to see him come back this year? And you guys obviously have a little bromance.
Awesome. No, he texted me before he had to make his decision. Excuse me. Coach Weave labeled us the fun bunch. That's like a brother to me, one of my best friends in the league. So super excited, and I'm glad he did shoot me a text and let me know Weave and Coach Mike were trying to coach him. So glad to have him back for sure.
Mike, is there a lot of value in bringing back all of the defensive linemen from last season? Is that something that's a positive, do you see?
I would believe so. Anytime you have continuity, more so bringing back guys who actually impact winning. So, bring back Beaks, one of the best D tackles in the league, obviously top 100 kind of guy. Myself, I played well. Obviously, Brody will be here again. Trav is here again. They've taken tremendous steps. Bringing back Herb, solid 5. They don't have a lot of those around the league, so we're glad to have him back. And just having a lot of guys like Sanat and Josh and all those guys. So anytime you want to, have a great defense, you bring back guys throughout the secondary and the fronts, obviously, I just spoke on. But having continuity, having guys who contribute to winning, understand how things go and how things fit together is important.
Mike, you've certainly spoken with great enthusiasm about Travis's potential. Does this feel to you like easier for him to make the leap than for everybody to sort of see?
Yeah, I don't think you'd be asking me if you ain't feel the same way. But he's made a tremendous amount of strides. I'm just trying to be what Brandon was for me. A big brother to him, but Brandon gave me a lot of room to grow and figure things out and play next to him, play with him. That's something that I've seen a lot of growth in Trav. He's been making a lot of plays, and I don't mind splitting reps with him as I get older, obviously, but to see him grow, to see him make those strides, and to see, I believe he's going to have an amazing year this year, for sure.
Like, you guys are obviously deep and talented. Do you guys talk about or think about openly about being the best defensive line rotation in the league? That's something that
Yeah, that's what we train for. Every year we come out and we got bigger guys. We don't always have we have just a bit of DK now, but we don't have those flashy names, if you will. So we end up probably like 10th or so. We play good defense here, but we don't have those star quality names on the inside. But each and every year we tend to rise throughout the year. So that's something we train for. That's something that we expect, just being the dominant D-line. Like I said, we all don't have the gaudy numbers that some teams have, but like I said, I think we measure by the collective group and how everything goes. So when Rowe had success, when PQ had success, Trenton will have success. Obviously, Beats and everything will come along. So we all have a part in this thing, and like I said, at some point we'll get there.
A lot of eyes on the O-line with so many starters leaving. What has it been like for you going up against them and watching them grow through these past 2 days?
It's been a joy. Voorhees is going to be really good. He's just learning and getting back. So Ben's been here, solid as well. So I think it's the first few days of camp, but filling that role, it takes a while. But also when you go against guys like myself, and Trav, and Brody, and get those different looks and get those opportunities that they never had before, I think they'll grow a lot. So now we're all enthusiastic, and like I said, we just kind of got to see how it all fills out. But no, they're hungry to make a name for themselves. So that's the most important thing.
Michael, obviously Zach Orr has been here a number of years as an assistant, but you played with him for a year. What do you remember about him as a player that maybe signaled this could be his calling at one point in time? And just what's it like having him as your defensive coordinator now?
So I would say the thing that always stuck out about Zach was just how team-oriented he was, selfless he was, and then when he got his opportunity, he became an all-pro. So not many people can have that trajectory, especially being an undrafted guy. So just see how he worked and how he was so diligent and waited his way patiently, kind of like his coaching career. I know his career was cut short due to something he couldn't control. But to see him rise through the ranks, like I said, he was a brother of mine on the field, 8 years ago. So to see how he's rising is awesome. And that makes me want to play for him just that much harder, just play much harder for him. But no, I definitely enjoyed to see him rise. And I think he's doing a great job. I think he'll be playing really hard for us.
Like, two things about last year's defensive line were really special. One is that 5 guys played every single snap. There weren't any other extraneous folks, so 44% of the snaps on average. The other thing was that you guys were in there a hell of a lot more of the pass rush snaps than in previous years when you have a lot of outside linebackers kicking inside. Can you talk about those two things a little bit? In particular, was there any conditioning difference between 22 and 23?
I wouldn't say so. Scott has always done a great job, even when we had Steve prior. It's just more so, Coach Weave and now Coach Dennis is trusting our inside guys to make a lot more effect on the pass, expecting it. So, guys train for it throughout the offseason, but, traditionally we've had bigger, bulkier guys like ourselves who just blast through A-gaps, and that's kind of was it. But as our defense has evolved, as they started expecting different things, and obviously we're in the passing league now, those things of pass rush and affecting the passer have been what's required now. So, I'm grateful that Coach Weave has allowed us to grow into that role, but like we see, we got myself, we got Trav, Brody, all of us can, not only stop the run, but make a great effect on the passer. It may not be sacks, but pressures and all those kind of things. So, it's good when you got big bodies and mix in those guys, like bring down like Herb or bring down a Dauphin, play him at 3 technique and get some one-on-ones and those type of things. But it's definitely something that's expected now. So I think it's something we train for.
Like, what's it like to be in the A-gap when Derrick Henry's in there for the goal line carries?
It's not fun. Normally I get a double team, and then by the time the double team comes off, it's a guy that's taller than me, running through the hole really, really fast. So, it's good to have him on my side. As of right now, it's not fun for camp, but I've been on the other side of playing against him a few times. One went terribly wrong. So I know what he's capable of, but it's not fun, but also I'm glad he'll be doing that for us instead of against us.
What he's done throughout his career has always been very constant production. Since you've been around him, what do you think makes Mark Andrews so great?
Yeah, he gets it, and he works hard. He's capable of a lot of things. He's really a positionless player, and that's what we talk about the room really. Because we play outside, we play inside in the slot, we play attacks. We got a lot of different roles. So all those guys are capable, and Mark leads the group. Him and Pat.
George, we've seen Kadir Ismail lining up with the tight ends, working out with the tight ends. He made a couple plays of practice today. What's kind of the vision for him positionally?
Yeah, same type of deal. He's a big body, he can run, he can catch. He's learned the position. He's flexible. He's played quarterback. You know, he's kind of what the quarterback's looking at. So he's young. He's learning. He's eager. You know, he's got big capacity to learn too. So excited about it.
George, we see some kind of intense battles between someone like Charlie Kohler and Brent Urban, who's obviously very, very tough to dislodge when he's that inline tight end. I guess what is kind of a learning curve for Kohler as he transitions to more of an inline role and potentially a bigger role in this offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see a big jump from him. He's made huge strides from not only just year 1 to 2, but now 2 to 3. I think you're going to see a big jump. He's working extra. Again, he's another guy that's capable of taking in a lot of information, both in the run game and the pass game. But he's going to make his mark physically at the line of scrimmage, controlling the defender. So I'm excited about what he's doing.
Which we obviously saw, particularly when Mark Andrews went out, Isaiah went through a stretch where he broke out in terms of numbers. Have you seen him build off that, just carry that kind of momentum into the offseason and early in camp?
Isaiah? Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that goes out there, he challenges safeties, he challenges corners, he's inside, obviously working against our backers. We got a good group defensively we're going against every day, so we're getting challenged, but Isaiah is so flexible. You saw it last year, and that's going to continue to improve. I mean, our group that we have is so versatile, and really excited about the group, really from top down.
What has he been like? Is it play recognition? Is it where's the biggest strides you've seen him make?
Well, it's the chemistry with him and Lamar, and again, he's a guy that we're moving all over the place. So he gets 1 or 2 reps at something, and then later on in the week, he's got to execute it again. So he's getting the extra work in. He's asking the good questions. The chemistry's there. I mean, the communication, it's been wonderful listening to him and Lamar work together. So I love it.
We talked with Todd Monken a lot about how you essentially have 2 starting caliber tight ends. What have those conversations been like with workshopping how you want to use both these
Game
guys?
planning, it's been very fun. I mean, we've got 4 guys that we think we can put out there at any point, at any position, and including Pat. So it's a versatile group. It's exciting. We're physical. We catch the ball. We run. So we're going to be moving the ball around in the offense, and that's the role that we want. We want to be put in a position to succeed, and so whoever's out there will feel like we do it.
George, you mentioned having 4 guys and including Pat. I think it's a great point. There's a limited number of tight ends and fullbacks you can have on the field and they can play.
Yeah.
These 4 guys, I mean, how do you console them about probably none of them getting the snap count that they would want?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get as many reps as we can and opportunities that present itself. Same thing the receivers are doing. So, the point that we made about being positionless. So, we may be in the tight end room, but we're out there extended doing the same things that maybe a receiver's doing, and then vice versa. The blocking is one thing for us in line, and, we feel like we can take as many roles as possible. We saw that unfold last year, and we've seen that unfold, that we're going to need everybody, to succeed.
George, with the addition of Derrick Henry, run blocking became more important entering this season. What have you seen from Likely and Hilaire in terms of being able to be inline blockers?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Derrick, he can run with a lot of bodies in there or run with not a lot of bodies in space. So we'll do both of it, and everybody's going to have their role. And, we're going to block for him, and he's going to block for us in the passing game. So it's going to be a good cohesive unit to work together to get yards.
George, do you think that, kind of the defensive trends of guys getting smaller, faster, has maybe made it easier for, tight ends not necessarily have to be the smash mouth style to be, physically, to have that physical advantage, off-ball linebackers weighing like 230, 240 pounds, edge setters maybe being, lighter than they were back in the day. Is that easier to maybe have an advantage when you have kind of guys that you do?
There's so many different variations that we go against. Some are lighter, some are bigger, and I think when we present what our challenges are offensively for someone to defend, I think it creates a lot of problems, and that's what we're after. We got big guys, we got physical guys, we got inline guys, we got guys we can extend, and really that's what we're trying to do is create as many mismatches as possible.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.